Hi everyone, I'm going to record tutorials for what we've learned in class today because I know sometimes in class it's very hard to follow everything. So I'm recording these tutorials for you to better learning and you can get back to see some details. So get clear with the line tools we talked about in class. So let's start from here. We are going to create a new file by click this blue button. New file, and I will give it a name. I just delete and tab line drawing. So I'm select the inches here, so you can always pick in the unit you want to use. Then you can change the width, the height here. You can change it to anything you want. I'm going to set it as 8.5 to 11. Then let's hit create. So here is my artboard. And I go back to the selection tool, which I hit on V. Right, so now let's go into the windows to set up your workspace. So we should set up our workspace to Essentials Classic. In this way, you can see all of your tools listed here. So first, let's talk about how to create a tab. You can click on the shortcut key T, or you can go to your toolbar to select T. You can click on your artboard to start typing, or you can create a tab box. Click, drag, and tap things. So I'm going to click on T, access to my text. So I'm typing. So I'm going to draw an actual line. Go into my select tool. I'm selecting the text, right? And let's hold shift and drag. So in this way, you can increase the size of your tab. And you can also go to here to increase the size of your text. Or you can just enter the number you want, delete and enter the number you want. From here, you see the character. Besides the character, here is a drop-down menu for you to pick your favorite fonts. So if I want to use this one, I will select it. It will turn to the character I want. So also from here, there are different styles of the font. There are font styles. So I can turn from regular to bold. So just pick the one you want to use. Then I'm going to keep typing. I'm going to click on my keyboard on the T to access to the text tool. I click on the blank, and it seems like the tab is too big for me, so I'm going to scale them down by clicking the down arrow button, right? So here I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and I click, keep typing. I need vertical line, so I need diagonal line. So right now, these three elements, they are not aligned, right? So I'm going to click on horizontal line. I'm going to click on shift. I click on vertical, diagonal. So remember you have to hold your shift key to select horizontal, vertical, diagonal. In this way, you can select them together. You can also just use your selection tool to select. let's go to the Align tool. You go to the Windows, click on Windows, you choose Align here, the third one, right? Align. Here is our toolbox for the Align tool. So we can hit on the vertical align bottom, so they aligned from the bottom. And I can click on horizontal distribute center. So that means they have the even space, right? So that's the way how we align our elements. So let's start to draw the lines. This is the basic tool for our to draw the lines, which named Align Segment. We can click on the line segment to draw lines, and we could also click on our backslash on our keyboard, which is the shortcut key for our line segment tool. So when I'm drawing, there's no color, right? So the reason why is I haven't turned on my stroke mode. So you can see it means fill and stroke. The left box means the fill. That means when you are drawing a shape, you can fill a color for your shape. But right now we are drawing the lines. We don't need to fill the shape. That's why we don't need this one. I'm going to hit none. I'm going to turn off my fill, and I will hit the switch. Oh, okay, it's not working. So I'm going to hit on the right box and turn on my stroke mode. In this way, when I get back to my line segment, so here I apply the black color to my lines. So I'm going to delete. So for the line segment, if we draw it, I will recommend you to hold on your shift key. So in this way, you can constrain your line into 45 degree. In that way, it's easier for you to draw a precise horizontal line, vertical line, and diagonal line. I'm going to click on V for the selection tool to drag it here. Just place them according to your preference. So if you are not holding your shift key, what happens is it will not constrain to 45 degree, and it's pretty hard for you to find the correct horizontal, the place for the horizontal line and for the vertical line. Let's delete this one. So also, if you go to this line segment tool, if you click on your option key, the line will be drawn from the central point. If you click on option shift key, your line will be constrained to 45 degree, but draw from the central point. I'm going to click V and delete them. So now it seems like it looks too thin for me, so I want to add the weight for my lines. So I select them all. So also click on Shift, select 1, 2, 3, and we go to the stroke, and I will increase the weight of my stroke. So now the lines looks better. So okay, let's draw another lines. So hit the backslash tool, click on the shift, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and horizontal, vertical, diagonal, right? So here we got our standard lines. So how should we transfer our standard lines to other forms of line? So we click on this one, we go to the variable width profile. So you could, as you click here, you can see the different options for letting you transfer your standard line into varied width line, right? So we click, let's try this one. You see it changed the form. It's not the single width line anymore, right? This part is wider than this part. So except for this function, another way we could change our single width line to a varied width line is to use our use our width tool. So let's click on Shift W to access to our width tool. So in this way, as you click on the anchor point here and drag, you can give a different width for your line. So this is wider and this is thinner. So just you can add other anchor point and drag to apply different width for your single line. Here, just play with that. And I click on V to go back to my selection tool. So now I want to go to my windows. Let's turn on our stroke. So here is my stroke box. And let's click on this icon and show options. Here are the old options for the stroke. You could add a round cap for your stroke. So if I will select this one, what happens if I add a round cap? You see, my cap is, this is the round cap and here is the regular angle cap. So they're totally different right now, right? So let's try, let's click on this one. Let's go to here, which is called brush definition, which you can apply different types of brush to your lines. So let's try this one and click this one and let's also go to the brush libraries menu. So here you can access to more types of brush. So let's go to artistic, let's go to let's try the ink mode. So here is a box for the inks. You can change your line into a type of ink. So what if right now all the lines, they are like, most of them, they are straight. So how could I add a curve to my straight lines? Let's go to the Curvature tool, which is here. You click on your Curvature tool and you click on the lines. So you can always see this blue line, right? Just click. That means you add an anchor point here. Click and drag. Click and drag. Click and drag. So now you see we have a curved line here. So these are the actual lines, right? They are continuous lines. So what if I want to draw an implied lines? Let's click on actual line first. Let's click on Command C, Command F. Means I copy and paste something at the front. And I click on my actual lines, I hit on Shift and to make it move vertically here. So you see the two actual lines, the texts are aligned, right? So if I'm not holding my shift, it's super hard to keep it vertically aligned. It will like flow everywhere. So always holding your shift. I'm going to double click on my text to change my actual lines into implied lines. Yeah, so let's go to the line segment again. Let's click on shift, horizontal line. No, there's no color again, so let's turn on the stroke mode and add a color for our line. So it doesn't to be always black. You can always double click on the box and you can access to the color picker. So in this way you can choose any color you want. For the demonstration I'm using the black one, so let's go back and click on V because I want to increase the width of my stroke. Here, the up arrow key. Let's go back to the line segment. The shortcut key is backslash on the keyboard. Vertical and diagonal, right? So here we go, and let's go back to the stroke we just opened it. So here is an option for the dashed line. So let's select one of them and turn on my dashed line. So here we got a dashed line, right? So I will turn this one into dashed line too. So this time let's try to change the numbers here. Change the number of the dash, change the number of the gap. You just enter a random number to see the difference. And I can add a round cap for my line. So now seems like they need more gaps. Now these two are totally looks different. They are different dash line. So another way you can create dash line is let's go to our brush definition box. I hit on the arrow key and here is my drop down menu, but we go to this icon, the brush libraries menu. We click on it and we go to the borders, and what you can see is the first one, borders dashed. You click on it and you got a box here for the borders dashed lines, which you can see more options for your dashed line. So you make sure this one is selected, and you can try the different types of dashed line you would want to use. This one looks interesting, so make sure I want to see it clearly, so I increase the width of my stroke. You can always go back to make it longer. Yeah. So right now I don't have enough space on my artboard. So what could I do is, first we can go to our artboard. Here is an icon for our artboard, or you can just hit Shift O, which is the shortcut key for our artboard. So you can always drag to increase the size of our artboard. And another way is you can go to the Windows, find the artboards, click on it, then you click on adding a new artboard, so that we have two pages here. So right now let's continue with our implied lines. So I'm going to keep drawing. I go to my line segment tool and I click on Shift. It's vertical, diagonal, and I click on V, go back to my selection tool. And I go back to my stroke box here. I click on dash line and I increase the width So what if I want to get a curvature dash line? Let's go to line segment here. No, let's go to the curvature tool. Sorry. So curvature tool is here. Click on it. Then let's choose a place on the blue line to add anchor point. So I want here to be curved. So I click and drag. So here I got a curve dash line. So if you want to end your drawing, just click on V. So go back to the selection tool. Here, dash line, and let's go to the voice profile and add a different form for our dash line. You could see it's a different form of line, right? So it's just to play with all of these tools. It's really interesting. Then let's go to the brush box and choose a different types of brush to play with. Okay, let's go to the what is calligraphic. So you see here you can change your line into different forms. It's really strong. This one is interesting. So dash line. Okay, so you have to yes, I believe you have to click on dash line first. So let's redraw it. That here it is, dash line, and we turn it. Probably it doesn't let me to apply these effects to my dashed line. So let's try another. Let's click on whenever you want to undo your action, like you want to go back to your last step, always click Command Z to go back. Let's go back to our brush tool. So this one is good, looks good, right? So you can also turn your dash line into different mode, and this point could be looks different. Some of them are round and some of them are in a brush style. Yes, and the length is different. They could be longer, they could be shorter. That's the way we can create different types of implied lines. So now for this page, let's go to our artboards. We just open it. So you just drag this box to find your tools. So here is my artboard. I want to give a name to my artboard. So for the first page, artboard 1, let's double click and give a name. It's actual line, actual, and implied. 3. Actual and implied. Hit return, and let's click on the second artboard. I'm going to give a name called arc and sparrow because I'm going to demonstrate about arc and sparrow. Enter. So I'm going to pull it so it doesn't affect my artboard. Here, let's enlarge. I'm clicking on the actual lines. I hit Command C, Command F, copy and paste at the front. I'm clicking on the actual lines and I'm clicking on Shift. So in this way, I move it in a horizontal line, right? So if I didn't hit Shift, it's kind of hard to move to keep horizontal. So just make sure everything is aligned. So I'm going to change this actual lines into arc, which I'm going to demonstrate how to draw an arc. So whenever you see this little white triangle icon besides the tools, that means there are more tools hidden behind these tools. So for example, this line segment tool, I right click on my line segment. Then you could see here is my arc tool and spiral tool, rectangular grid tool, and polar grid tool. So whenever you right click on those tools, you can see what other tools belongs to the same family here. So let's right click on line segment tool and go to the art tool. So now you see for other tools there are like some of them, they have the default shortcut key for Illustrator, but for some of them it doesn't have, right? So for example, to arc tool, there is no default shortcut key. So what if I want to use the shortcut key for my arc tool? You can set it by yourself. So let's go to the edit. Then let's go to keyboard shortcuts, hit it, and see our, you see here is the full list of our default shortcut key in Illustrator. So you see the arc is empty, there's no default settings here. So what I want to enter is I would enter Shift A. So this is what I want to set my arc for the shortcut key. So you can enter whatever you want, any letters you want, just choose the one you like to do and hit OK. So I will show yes. In that way, when I right click on my line segment, when you see the arc tool, here is my shortcut key. I just set it. So make sure that you just set your shortcut key on your own laptop. Don't do that on the public computer because others may don't know your shortcut key. So let's go to the arc tool. So now you should be aware of your fill mode is turned on. So let's click on none. Let's turn it off. Then let's hit X on the keyboard and hit on the black color, so that means you are turned on your stroke and you are applied a color for your stroke. So in this way we can draw with our lines. So this arc, so this is a standard arc, right? I'm going to do another arc. So for this time I click drag, but I just keep my hand on my mouse, just hold it. So as long as you're holding it, let's click on the up arrow key. So what happening is it increase the level of your curve. When I press on the down arrow key, it decrease the level of curve of your arc. And you can always click on F to flip your arc. F to flip your arc. And let's click on the space, just the space on the artboard. You can see here is the arc segment tool options. So you can just make any adjustment here. So what if the tab is closed? Let's change the tab from open to closed. What happens is it will give you an arc that turns into a closed shape. So if you need a shape like that, you can just close your arc. Click on V to go back to our selection mode. So now they looks too thin for me, so I will select 3 of them. I will add the stroke weight for them. So yeah. So let's play with the arc. So for the first one, let's apply a different form for it. For this one, let's go to the stroke and add a round cap for it. And also you can turn it into a dash line for your stroke, for your arc. And also let's go to the width tool, just Shift W to add a width for our arc. So now you see this is something really fun with a really interesting visual effects. Yeah. Click V and so how about let's try to add an arrow for our arc. Here we go. So you click here is called arrowheads. You click here and add an arrow. There are different types of arrow. Just try the one you like. So you can click here to scale down your arrow. You can click here to increase the size of your arrow. So let's make some adjustment for this one. So let's go to the curvature tool. Hit curvature tool and add anchor point to drag. Add anchor point to drag. Yes, just use what we learned to play with those tools. And yeah. So that's our arc tool. Let's try to draw a sparrow here. Just right click here again. Here is our sparrow tool. Click on it. Sparrow tool. This is a standard sparrow tool, right? So if you click and hold, and click at the same time, click on the up arrow key. It will increase the line segment for a sparrow. If you click on the down arrow key, which will decrease the line segment for your arrow. So you are holding it and you are clicking on the up and the down arrow key. So what if you hold and you click on command and you drag your sparrow? You hold, so the left hand you are clicking on the command key, the right hand you are using your mouse to do back and forth. That will change the decay of your sparrow. Yes, so if you click R, you holding and click R will flip your sparrow. And so if you if you think the shortcut key is kind of hard, you can also click on the space to go to sparrow settings. Here you can adjust your radius, you can adjust the decay and the segments and the style. It's the same thing as what we did for our shortcut key. Yeah, we got another one. I click on V to go back to my selection tool. So now we can play with our sparrow. I would change this sparrow into a dashed line, and I'm going to add a fun arrow here. So these are something you may see on a map or diagram. So I'm going to click Shift W. You can also go to your width tool, but I'm going to create Shift W and I add a width, and I decrease the width for this part. So this is a varied weight line. And I can change my cap into a round cap. I usually enjoy a round cap, so here it is. So for this one, let's go to our brush tool. I think I will try this one. So it turns into a brush style spiral. Also apply different forms. So these tools we just introduced, they could be mixed. So you just mix use of them and see what's happening. They will create totally different effects. Just try, explore, and play with everything we just introduced. So here is our so now let's talk about how to using the shapes to transfer the shapes into a really fun line compositions. So let's go to, so I think you're supposed to see a rectangular tool first in your toolbox. So you right click on your rectangular, and you can see the third one is ellipse tool here, right? So you can click on an ellipse tool here to draw circles. So this is the way you can get a standard circle, and a faster way you can get a standard circle is we click on the ellipse tool and you hold shift. So when you're holding shift, you can get a standard circle immediately. If you're holding option and shift, you will get a standard circle draw from the central point. That's the two ways you can get a standard circle. So now I want to increase the size of my circle. Whenever you want to increase an element in Illustrator, no matter it's a text or a line or it's a shape, always remember to click and hold shift and drag it back and forth. So if you don't click on shift and you just drag it, the proportion will change. The things are not right. So let's go back. So the undo is Command Z to go back to our last action. So here is our standard circle, and I click on shift, hold, and I drag to increase the size. And I increase the width of the stroke. So right now I got a circle. It's still a shape, right? So I will show you how to use scissors to cut them into line segment. Let's go to find your eraser tool here, and you right click on your eraser tool. Enter the eraser tool with your scissors tool. You can always click C. The shortcut key for your scissors tool is C. Click, and as you enlarge for details, you can see your circle has 4 anchor points. These are called anchor point. What we're going to do is, let's cut the 4 anchor point. Just click exactly on the anchor point. So select your scissors, click exactly on your anchor point. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go back to the selection tool. Click V on your toolbox. So now let's see what's happening. My circle turns into 4 separate lines. Then we can apply the varied weight for our lines, right? So let's go to here, the width profile again. Let's select the width profile tool. So now it's a really fun outcome. So let's select this one. Then let's go to the dashed line, turn on my dashed line, and I want it to have a round cap, and I want to adjust some number here. Probably we tried 5. No, I think we tried 15. So what if I want this line to be exactly look like my dashed line I just set it? I don't have to go back to set again. What I'm going to do is I make sure I select the line I would want to change. Then I go to the eyedropper tool, which is this one. You can click on I on your keyboard to access to your eyedropper tool. Then make sure this is selected, and I use my eyedropper tool to click on my dashed line. So in that way, my actual line turns into the same style as my dashed line. So I don't have to go back to set it again. So eyedropper tool is a really handful tool. Click on V. Go back to my selection tool. I'm going to adjust this line. I want it to look exactly different with these two dash line. So let's choose dash line and make sure it has the angle. Let's change the dash. I'm trying. Yeah, so you see it's exactly different with these two dash line. So the same thing is I want this line to be exactly same as this one. We don't go back to set it again. So let's use our eyedropper tool. Make sure this one is selected, and I go to the eyedropper tool, click on eyedropper tool, and I click on this one. So I want this one to turn into this one. So I click on the upper one. Yeah. So now you see this one, the lower one turn into exactly the upper one. They are the same style right now. The same color with the same width of stroke, the same dash style. Let's click on V. Go back to our selection tool. So let's group everything. What you can do is you make sure you are on your selection tool, and I select all of them. I right click, there is a group selection. In this way we can group everything. So if I right click again, I can make them ungroup. So another way you can group everything, so now they are separate, right? So another way you can group everything is, let's select everything first. Let's click Command G on your keyboard. So now you see they are grouped. The next thing I want to do is let's go to the effect. Go to the effect, and let's go to distort and transform menu. Go to the menu, and I want hit the transform here. Let's change the horizontal to 90%, vertical to 90%. Then let's give a 50. Let's add 50 copies to our design, and I'm going to add a rotate. So I'm going to drag the angle. So I'm creating a really fun visual effects here. You can see the different level, different degrees create totally different visual outcome. So it's a really fun spiral lines, and I will hit OK. Yeah, so here is my spiral. So right now I'm going to increase the size of my artboard. So I want to show you one more function in creating some fancy scenes. let's go back to the line segment tool, which is the back slash line here, and I'm clicking on shift and I'm creating a horizontal line. So this time I don't want it to be dashed anymore, so I turn off the dash line mode and I click on V and I increase the width of the stroke of my horizontal line. I click Command C, Command F to make it copy and paste at the front, holding the shift and drag it somewhere. Here I think it's okay. So let's select both of the two lines. Then let's go to the blend tool, which is here, the blend tool. You can also click on W. Click on the wedge tool. Actually, double click on the wedge tool. You will see the blend options. And here is a drop down menu. Turn it on. You can see smooth, color, specified steps, specified distance. Let's select the middle one, specified steps. And I will apply 20. Just for example 20. You can put other number to try. Then let's hit OK. Then I'm going to click on the first line, the second line. What happened is I blend the two lines, right? So if you whenever you want to, you will need several lines to display in this way. You don't have to create them, just to draw them one by one. You can just go to the blend tools to blend them. So you can also try with the shapes. So just try to blend something up to create a fancy visual outcome. So whenever I use my curvature tool to click and drag, create a curve, so all the lines in this blend composition will be changed to curvature line, which will create a really interesting outcome. You can just play with everything. Click on Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. I want to go back. Click V. Yeah. So now let's go to the rectangle tool. You can also click M. So if I'm holding shift, it will give me a standard square. If I'm not holding shift, it will be a rectangular. So I'm holding shift to create a square shape, and I can also hit Option. Option shift means I'm creating a square that extends from the central point. I click on V. So here is my standard square, and I apply a color for my no, not red. So let's go to the curvature tool first, and I'm finding the central point here. I click and drag, click and drag. So that's how I could create a heart, the heart shape. Let's rotate it, and let's give our heart a color. Example, the red. And I turn off. What if I want to remove my outline? I just hit the right line here. None. So here I just got a red heart. Okay, so right now for this, let's click on the lines we just blended. Let's go to the object tool, hit expand, and click OK. And object tool, go to the path, click on outline stroke. So in this way, our lines turn into the shapes. It's not the line anymore, right? You can see in the fill mode, it shows like my lines are black. So I'll double click on my view. I will also apply a red color, pink color for my lines. So now I'm going to place my heart at the top of my lines. So if you want to make sure your heart is on the lines we just created, you just right click on the heart and you go to arrange, bring to front. And you can select the, so now let's go to the windows. And I want you to open the Pathfinder tool here. Find this, yes, here it is. So I'm select both the two elements and I'm going to the last one, minus back. What happening is I will get a shape, a heart shape that fill with the lines. Command Z, go back. If I click this one, yes, the same thing will happen. Yes, so here, this is the function if you want to fill your shape with lines. You don't have to draw them one by one. You just use the Pathfinder tool to make the creation. Yeah. So here are some tools we introduced in today's class. Yeah, so hopefully you can follow this video and review everything and play with all the tools. So for next class, we're going to talk about how to use the pen tool, the curvature tool, more about the curvature tool, the pencil tool, and the brush tool. Yeah, so see you next class.